Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Part of learning how to turn your home into homestead, I think, is learning how to budget better and how to save money wherever you possibly can. And one of the ways that I like to save money, and I do actually save a lot of money doing this, is purchasing spices in bulk. Buying them, I buy them at my local co-op and a lot of different grocery stores. I know Fred Meyer, Kroger, places like that. There's a food pavilion, all different kinds of places. They have their own bulk aisle, and it's usually in the spice aisle. Sometimes it's its own separate thing. And our store has an actual bulk aisle. Like there's a whole bulk row. There's lots of different types. There's spices and all kinds of different things. And I discovered this. I don't remember exactly how I discovered it, but what I like to do with this is I just buy all of these bulk spices. I have all kinds. Let me see here. I've even bought some xanthan powder, and there's smoked paprika, there's regular paprika, smoked paprika, and cayenne pepper. And then there's oregano, there's garam masala, ginger, cumin, did I mix that up? Coriander, and cinnamon sticks, and turmeric. And I got all of these different spices. The grand total was, well, that includes other things. Let me do the math at the end. This is not the exclusive receipt. So what I like to do with all of these different spices is I have these other containers that I've saved from the past. And some of them are marked correctly, and some of them I just took a different one and put a different, like I just took a piece of masking tape and taped over it, and I just continue to use it as that. Like I have, let me show you here. Like here, this one used to be a coriander jar, and I put a tape over it, and it's now the cardamom, which I don't buy very often because that one is ridiculously expensive. But, so just to kind of give you a bit of an idea here, like we have oregano right here, and this is 1/6 of an ounce. So I'm probably gonna have to do math here, but 1/6 of an ounce, and then here I got oregano. It is $18.49 a pound. So when you first go to actually look at all of these different spices and things in the bulk section, the way that the ones that I've seen, they come in these big, I don't even know, maybe like a 1.5 quart size jars with the lids on top of them, and you just go in and you fill up with what you need. And usually I get about this much. If I'm, budget's a little short that month, I'll just get a smaller amount. But this time we were fine, so I went ahead and filled up. And this oregano is $18.49 a pound? Yeah, $18.49 a pound. And this big container of it here, this was 4/100ths of a pound. So, and it only cost me 74 cents. So you get this much for 74 cents. And when you go to the store and you buy like a jar like this, I'm sure we all know this jar, especially if you're gonna get organic, is gonna run you probably anywhere between $5 and sometimes, depending on the spice, up to like $10 a pound. This one, I don't remember exactly, but I want to say it was like $6.50, $7, something like that. And it's 1/6 of an ounce. You get all of this for 74 cents. It's really a good deal. And especially if you're anything like me, I like to spice everything that I cook. I just make a big vat of meat, and I just throw a bunch of spices in it to make it taste delicious. I do like chilies and soups and stews, stir fries, just about anything you can possibly imagine. I like to add spices to it just to make it taste better, and it has all of the health benefits to it as well. So that's what I like to do, but it's really expensive. And this way, if I'm buying these bulk powders, I can actually use a lot more of them. It costs a lot less, and it's just makes me feel better about what I'm doing because it doesn't cost quite as much. And like, let me give you some examples here. Let me see, like the smoked paprika. I know smoked paprika is really expensive in the store, and you really can't even find it organic. It's nearly impossible. But at least in my area, I don't know about your area. Which one's the smoked paprika? Okay, so we have the smoked paprika right here. This one was a little more expensive, and this one ran $25.29 a pound. No, that's the xanthan powder, $22.99 a pound. And I got exactly 1/4 of a pound for $5.75. The smoked paprika, where's that bottle at here? Smoked paprika is not a dollar, 1.87 ounces right here that you get when you buy in the store, 1.87 ounces. And this one ran me, I want to say it was $8 or $9. Like this one was pretty expensive. And then all of these different spices, you just save so much money. Let me do some math really quick and I'll be right back. So for all of these spices, I spent $47. And honestly, if I had just gone and tried to buy just these bottles here, I probably would have spent about that amount of money. Oh, this one too. So I ended up getting all of these amounts, and it's probably gonna fill up each of these jars. If I had to guess, I would say probably about 4 times. So what I like to do with these, just show you real quick here. I have my cumin here, and I already did the turmeric, but I have cumin. Let me find it here. Coriander, cumin, right here. So what I like to do with these is I just fill up these little spice jars. Sometimes it takes a minute. You got to get it to go down the funnel. There's the funnel that I have. And I just fill this up all the way. While you're doing it, you can kind of tap it just to get it to go down more. It's just less that you have to store for later, and you have it on hand in your container in your spice cabinet. So that's what I like to do. Okay, so once I get this filled up, then I take my jelly jars that I have all cleaned and on my shelf and ready to go. And these ones you don't really need to. Okay, so then all I do with these is I put, sometimes depending on how long I think I'm going to store these for, which most of these won't be stored for too long, you can put a little dry in there, but all I'm going to do with them is I'm just going to put a regular mason top jar on there. Let me get one real quick. Okay, so then all I do is I take one of my old used canning jar lids and put it on there, and then I take my then I just take some tape on the top and I write on there with what it is and the date, and then I set it in my dry storage. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you that real quick. Okay, so just kind of right off of my kitchen, I have this shelf, and this is all just a bunch of dehydrated food. Right now, it's mostly fruits and vegetables and things like that. There's not a tremendous amount of spices on here, but I do have like chili powder. I keep that in here, and I just keep all my spices in here. And so this I'm gonna mark it first before I actually put it in here, but you can see I just use some masking tape on the top right here, and I just mark them. Sometimes I'll mark the actual jar lid there, and I just keep them in here, and I have it right off of my kitchen, and I can refill it anytime that I need to in my actual spice cabinet. So that's what I like to do. Whoops. Okay, so that's just kind of my quick little tip on a way that you can save. If you like to use spices, that's a way that you can save a tremendous amount of money. And if you just like to have spices on hand, you can buy a smaller amount. You can just buy, you know, it's bulk. So I mean, you could just buy like a teeny little bit of it. You could buy like this amount of it and just save yourself a lot of money over time. So I just wanted to share that little tip with you. And I'm gonna go ahead and portion all of these out into their little jars and into the jelly jars, and I'll show you what we have at the end so you can kind of get a better idea of exactly how much you get for this amount of money. So I got all of the spices divvied up into all of these jars, and I just wanted to bring you back for one last thing to kind of show you. This is the Xanthan Gum. And with some of these, like, you're not really sure if it's going to fit in whatever jar that you're using, whether it's a half pint or if it's a pint or whatever it might be. One way that I found to actually be able to tell if it fits is I just, in the side of the bag, I'll just stuff it into the jar, and then like I know, yeah, that's going to totally fit inside of there. Because sometimes I've been wrong and it sucks to have to go from like a smaller bag to a bigger bag, or you know, something like that. So the xanthan gum I don't use very often. It's just when I feel like doing some gluten-free baking or whatever. And so I'm just gonna keep it, I don't have it actually in a spice jar. Alright. So that's all there's to it. And then I'm gonna go through, and I left my tape out in the garage, so I gotta go get my tape, and then I'm gonna mark on all of these. These are gonna go back into the actual spice cabinet, and then the rest of these ones we're gonna go and put on the dehydrator shelf, or the dehydrated food shelf that I showed you guys earlier. So all of this was, what did I say? I think it was $47. And if any of you guys buy a lot of spices, you know how good of a deal it is to get all of these filled up, and then all of these as backup on the shelf. So I want to show you a way that I like to save money. If you use spices, like I said, it's going to be a lot of money. If you don't use a lot of spices, you can still save money doing it that way. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. We're gonna go and do some chicken stuff.